Hello students, today is Tuesday, August the 19th, 2014, and here are your TOPS announcements. As I announced yesterday, our offices are closed this Friday, so no one will be around to help you if you need it. So if you have questions, you better ask them on Thursday. Your work that's due on the 22nd is due Friday by midnight. That should be the first round of work that you're doing. And yeah, there you go. Today I want to talk to you about the history of TOPS and how it all began, and this may be important for new people to know, and maybe some parents who didn't know how we started. Well, first of all, I got hired to be principal of TOPS and build TOPS in the summer of 2012, and at the time our idea was to build a virtual school, high school, for Northeast Tennessee students only, because we didn't know how we would handle testing and all of that. And at the same time that I started this in June of 2012, another virtual school in the state was denied the ability to start a high school. So you had all of these 8th grade students who had gone to this virtual school, had nowhere to go to high school online. And so at that point, we made a Facebook page and started a website and everything, and all of a sudden we get like all of these phone calls about, hey, are you guys going to accept students from here and there? And the first few phone calls I was like, well, you know, we really only want to take Northeast Tennessee students. And one of the parents told me and said, you know, if you take students from all over the state, you're going to have a ton of students, which is what we wanted. We didn't want to have like too many, but we wanted to have at least 100 our first year. And so I went to the boss and I was like, look, here's what I need. I need a full-time English teacher, full-time math teacher, a guidance counselor, an assistant, and we need to accept students all over the state. And the boss man was like, okay, that sounds good. And so we started accepting students all over the state. And eventually we started that first semester, because we didn't take everybody. We just took students that we thought would do a good job from all grades, 9 through 12. And which we probably should have just started with freshmen. I don't know why I didn't ever think of that, but I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't, because we've gotten a lot of students that year who were sophomores and others who have been really great for us. And so we started with 40 students that semester, and then by the spring semester, which that year we accepted enrollment throughout the year, that year we ended up with 92 students, I think. And then we started fall of last year with 144 students and ended up with 144. And this year we're going to be somewhere between 230 and 250 students. So that's how TOPS got its beginning. When we first started, we used a classroom management system called Moodle, and it was really slow and laggy and terrible, and even had some students leave the school because they hated it so much, and we hated it worse than those people. And so we switched to Canvas last year, and that's been great since we've had it. And so that's how we got our start. And so this kind of ties into the thought for the day, is don't give up. There were so many times during that first year that it was just real easy to feel like, man, I just want to cut and run from this situation, because we would have problems with Moodle that would last like a day or two, you know, basically working 12-hour days, and then, you know, had some personnel problems, and then had some problems with students, and then we had bad policies, like our attendance policy. Our first semester was counting login hours, and so we'd have to go in and count all the hours that students had logged in, and it never really worked, and students weren't doing their work. And so, you know, it took us some time, but eventually we got to where we felt like we had a really great school. And that's where we are now, and we still feel like we can always get a lot better. You know, this year we've added the MOOC thing and cut out one class a semester, because we felt like that was the best thing to do. And honestly, a lot of the improvements that we've made have been from listening to you. So anytime you have an idea like, oh, I think this would be great, tell your teacher or tell me. We listen to those things. We never just dismiss them out of hand because they're coming from a teenager or they're coming from a parent. We always listen. Now, sometimes we know better. We'll hear a suggestion. We're like, yeah, we tried that. It didn't work. Or like, I see where you're going with that, but it won't work. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't suggest it. We're always very appreciative of those sorts of things. So the second thought for the day is always listen to people. You never know where you might find a great idea. And if you don't listen, you'll never know. Because honestly, what you can come up with yourself is never as good as what many people can come up with. Because you never know where inspiration is going to strike a person. But anyway, that's the story of Tots I thought I would tell you today. I don't know why. Should have used puppets, but I don't have any puppets, so there you go. I hope everybody has a great day. And please get your work in on Friday. I emailed a bunch of you yesterday who, according to my records, had not submitted any work. In math, if you're doing Khan Academy, that's why. Because I don't see that. I just see what's in your grade book. So that if you got any, like if you've been working your tail off in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 in Khan Academy, and I sent you an email that said you hadn't done anything, please don't take that personally. I just didn't consider that because that's new to those classes this year. So don't take that personally. In other classes though, if you haven't submitted any work, then I'm trying to hunt you down and get you working because our due date is Friday, and this is 2 weeks worth of attendance that, if you have 10 assignments and you don't do any of them, that's 10 absences, which is, if you watch yesterday's announcements, considered truancy. And we are very vigilant about that. So just be on notice about that. Everybody should always have perfect attendance every single week. Always. Always. Because if you have a reason you don't have perfect attendance, then you should be letting us know. That way we can excuse your absence if it's a legitimate thing. You guys have a great day. There's my phone ringing, and take care. That's creepy sounding.